Good afternoon. My name is Leszek Lewacz. I am the International Business Advisor for PCG Academia. I am honored to be a moderator of this webinar when my distinguished colleagues Ahmed El-Sobki from Acacia Integration and Piotr Masalski from PCG Academia will show you how you can improve your university's position, international recognition using. But before we move to the presentation, I would like to show you the agenda of the presentation. So we will start by short introductions about PCG, about Acacia integration. Then we will tell you more about the DSpace. We will also include the live demo of it, and we would like to conclude it with question and answers. So I advise you that if you would have any questions, I hope you would, please type them in the chat. At the end of the presentation, at the end of our webinar, I will take them and we will answer it, providing we will have enough time. If not, we will answer them in emails. But initially, I would like to ask Professor Łukasz Sułkowski, President of PCG Polska, to give short introduction about our company. Professor Sułkowski is, as I mentioned, President of PCG Polska, but he is also a professor of Social Sciences and Management at Kraków University, Jagiellonian University, the oldest, the largest, and the best one in Poland. And Professor Sułkowski will tell you a couple of words about our company. So, Łukasz, you've got the floor.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to welcome you at our webinar about DSpace repository and the visibility of the international universities. Good repository can be the source of the publications and international exchange of the staff and students and information. So it's very important to have the solid repository based on software that can fulfill achieve the goals of the university. And this is the subject of our today's seminar. I would like to introduce you our members of today's webinar. Our moderator is Leszek Lewacz from PCG Academia. Our special guest is Mr. Ahmed El-Sobki from Acacia Integration, and our expert is Piotr Masalski from PCG Academia. My name is Łukasz Sułkowski. I'm a president of PCG Poland, but also academician at Jagiellonian University in Kraków. So it will be the pleasure to give you at the beginning a few informations about our company. Public Consulting Group is the corporation established in the United States. More than $500 million of the capitalization for this year. And our specialization is education, health, social services. And here in Poland, PCG Polska is owner of the three companies, PCG Academia, Lyrasis, and PCG Education. Actually, Lyrasis is the company that is dominant on the SIS market for K-12. PCG Academia is the company that has a specialized service for the university and other higher education institutions. PCG Academia is providing the software for the 60 universities in Poland, but not only, also international universities. And Lyrasis is more than 8,000 K-12 schools in Poland. We are also certified partner of Lyrasis, and we have the developed cooperation with Time Higher Education, Anthology, Inspera, and Webcon. Together with Times Higher Education and the Foundation of Polish Rectors, we are organizing the conferences, and I would like to kindly invite you for the 9th edition of the Lumen Conference. It will be November this year. The mission of the conference is to talk about the management of the university, leadership, and to provide new solutions to properly manage the universities. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud because of the cooperation with our partners. In the group of our product partners, we would like to talk about the Anthology, Inspera, Intelligent Board, Lyrasis, OpenLMS, and Webcom. This is the group of partners that we are providing the many solutions for our partners, universities in Poland and outside of Poland. Actually, we have the group of the most renowned universities here in Poland. The biggest Polish university from capital, Warsaw University, Jagiellonian University from Krakow, the oldest one, medieval one, the group of the economical universities, technical universities, and the largest and the most prestigious private universities like Koźmiński University, SWPS, Academy, WSB University, Lazarski Collegium Civitas. We are also cooperating with governmental universities, like specialized in the subject of the medicine, Medical University in Łódź, Silesian medical universities, and also academies of martial art and specialized universities as Academy of Art. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite you to know our solutions here in area of the education, which is EduCloud, providing effective administration, SIS systems, LMS systems, and the teaching resolutions, and the Science Cloud, which is the recording, analyzing, and reporting scientific data. So I would like to wish you a very good seminar, and thank you very much for attention. I'm giving the floor to Leszek Lewos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Łukasz. We would like now to, well, you mentioned at the end about our partners, so I'm very proud to tell you about one new partner, which is Acacia Integration. And I would like to ask Ahmed El-Sobki, the owner and the founder and the manager of the Acacia Integration, to tell you more about the company. Ahmed used to work in governmental, international, and regional organization in North Africa and Middle East. So, Ahmed, I would like you to present Acacia Integration. You've got the floor.
Thank you, Leszek, very much for giving us the opportunity to participate in such webinar for the first time in our Middle East and North Africa area. My name is Ahmed El-Sobki. As Leszek said, that I worked in many of the organizations within Egypt and outside Egypt. Different types of organization, whether they are government or private sector or international or something like regional organizations. In addition to being now an elected board member of the Chamber of Information and Communication Industry of Egypt, which is part of the Egyptian Federation for Industries. Acacia Integration is a German-based company working in the field of consultation and system integration. Within the consultancy area, we are working in the field of e-learning, to provide consultancy for organizations to provide their services of training and education on by using different platforms of e-learning, and we are dealing with multiple service providers in this arena. We are also have the experience and we have the experience and the network to work in the field of developing national human resources development strategies, since I worked in this area with some of the experts in starting from 2015. And also we are working in giving consultancy for the smart communities, to provide universities with the plans to develop their campuses into a smart community. Also, we are a distributor for educational products for the higher education digital transformation tools like the DSpace, in addition to also working in the pre-education or the pre-higher education, the K-12 products, so that we are working in the providing virtual reality and augmented reality educational products, mainly for K-12, and also we have other products for specialized for education, higher education schools, like the School of Medicine, the School of Pharmaceutical, and the School of Engineering, and something like that. We are distributors for the famous American companies like the DSpace, Aeon, TSC simulation training systems, and so on and so forth. And we are also working in the field of providing online language training for different languages as a distributor for the famous company in Belgium called Altisia. So that this is in a nutshell what we are doing in the field of education, especially as a consultancy or as a distributor for sort of educational products. Thank you very much, Leszek, for the introduction, and please accept my best regards for all the participants from the whole MENA region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. It was great, and of course, we are very honored to work with Acacia Integration and Review. Particularly, we are hoping that your huge experience in the region with our kind of best services connected with the DSpace repository will bring great value to the universities there. So now it's time to switch to the presentation of the DSpace itself. So I would like to ask Piotr Masalski, who is the director for the DSpace and the scientific research-related product in PCG Academia, to give you some information about the DSpace, including running a live presentation of the system. Piotr, you have the floor, and please tell us about the DSpace.
Thank you, Leszek. Good afternoon, everybody. Before we begin, I would like to inform you that if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask them. You have a chat provided, you can write your question, and as Leszek said before, we will answer them at the beginning of our meeting today. So, ladies and gentlemen, DSpace is by far the most popular scientific repository all over the world. We have now around 3,000 installation of the system. The installations are growing each year. There is a progress around 5% of the installation, and right now it is around 40% of the market, the DSpace installation. The most important thing for you, I guess, would be the open source nature of the system. So it is free, it is easy to install, and moreover, it is also led by a community. So it's still developing by 1,000 of the developers and the contributors all over the world. The story of the DSpace began in 2002 with the consortium of the MIT and Hewlett-Packard, and the system is still developed for the last 20 years. On the next slide, you can see that DSpace is available all over the world. Every third installation is in Europe, but we have also 22% installations in Asia. We have North America, of course, South America, and of course Africa and Middle East. These pins marked red are the regions that PCG Academia is working with the clients on DSpace projects. Going to the next slide, I will explain the main issue with the previous installation of the DSpace. Most of these from 3,000 I mentioned before are based on previous versions. These are 3, 4, 5, 6 DSpace releases, which unfortunately are now technologically delayed. However, last year we have a huge breakthrough because the new long-awaited DSpace 7 has arrived. It is based on modern technologies. For those of you who are familiar with these technologies, it is based on REST API and the most popular front-end technology, which is Angular UI, so that it is easy to use. It can look very attractive. I guess you will see this later on during the presentation, and of course it is dynamically developed by the DSpace community. Moreover, there is a strategy of ending the life of the previous versions because of these technological problems. DSpace 5 ended his life in December 2022. With DSpace 6, it's going to happen in June 2022, which is only 3 months from now. Going to the next slide. To be honest, I think that the biggest advantage of DSpace is its integration. So the whole community is developing the new integrations. For now, the most important are Scopus from Elsevier, Web of Science from Clarivate, of course, OrcID, Crossref, PubMed. All of these integrations help during the depositing process. So, for instance, if you want to put your publication into the repository, you don't have to full all of the metadata. You just write the DOI number, or you connect to the Scopus database, and you download all of the metadata. And of course, these REST API integrations that are built around DSpace helps you to both put the data inside DSpace and get the data from the DSpace, for instance, for some internal scenarios, internal processes, or national evaluation systems that can work with DSpace. Coming to the next slide, I have to mention that DSpace is now fully compatible with research data. So it means that you can easily put not only the publication, but also the research data that can be, of course, connected to the publication by certain relations. You can set it to be open access, or you can manage the access. For instance, you can decide that certain collections or certain data sets are available only for logged in users, or there is a nice feature that you can show only the metadata and put the button to request an access. Then you put your own email and an administrator of the system can grant you explicit access to a certain data. Of course, DSpace is ready to be harvested. As I mentioned, it's the most popular software solution for data repositories around the world. So, for instance, Google Scholar or any other harvesters do not have any problems with getting data from the DSpace. And last but not least, the versioning is very important because during the timeline of the project, you can have different data sets, you can have different data inside these data sets. So you can put different versions and still have an access to the previous versions of the data. And coming to the next slide, I would like to invite you to a short presentation of full DSpace functionalities from the front page through the search result, through the publication page, and a little bit of back office. It would be around 10-12 minutes. So I think we should have
let me start with the
video
home
now.
page. At the top of the page, you can see the summary of data collected in the repository. You can see the number of publications, projects, and other research output metrics. You can also see profiles of researchers and institutions' organizational units. DSpace 7 allows you to store and identify various kinds of data, including patents, datasets, dissertations, and many more. All data that are possible to add are compatible with core vocabularies. As I mentioned before, we are presenting the DSpace 7 CRIS version, which is compatible with the serif standard recommended by European Union. Here, you can see the search bar, and I will get back to it later on. Now, let's take a look at the widgets that are displayed here. They were created by PCG Academia as a custom feature. In this example, starting from the left, we have the most viewed scientific output, the most influential scientists, and the most popular publications. Those are just examples, as data presented in each result could be adjusted and modified. We can, for instance, show scientific metrics and data imported through integration from external sources like altmetrics. You can see it on the screen now. This area and the whole homepage can be customized depending on the specific needs and could be easily modified to better reflect the character of your organization. Below the widgets, we have some custom statistics for disciplines referring to different types of publications, people, and units. Those statistics could be easily used for comparison of research outputs between the organizational units, for example, in relation to Sustainable Development Goals. Here on the right, we can see basic statistics about users' activity in the repository. We have downloads and views, as well as the number of items from each entity deposited in a repository. That overview shows very well how popular are items from repository and what kind of entities are deposited there. Now, let's scroll up to the top. Our search bar is located at the top of the homepage. It is customized to save you time while you are searching for research outputs, specific publications, units, infrastructure, and scientists. When I click on it, it expands into a full screen mode that can display, for example, most searched phrases or other shortcuts. When searching, we can either enter a specific phrase or just choose one of those on the screen by clicking it. The system instantly shows results of the search through all data collected in our repository. The results include not only publications, but as you can see now, also the profiles of researchers and projects related to the topic. Let's expand some filters located on the left-hand side that can be used to narrow down the search results. I choose type, journal article, and for example, a date period between 2015 and 2022 to get to the results I'm looking for. This is just one example how the new technologies used in DSpace 7 provide instant feedback and smooth user experience. Every search result can be customized to display the data important for a particular item that, for instance, differs for publication and other research output. DSpace 7 repository can display standard bibliometric indicators that are available through integration with external databases such as Scopus and Web of Science. It can also show additional alternative metrics that allow you to study the social perception of this publication using the old metrics tools, as in the example on your screen. The entire view can be easily modified to meet the requirements of the organization. Now, let's move to the publication. On this page, we get access to all the information about that particular publication. Of course, all the data could just as well be shown as metadata in the standardized schema like Dublin Core. It is worth mentioning that we are able to see all the relations between this publication and other entities related to it, the authors, the institutions of authors, projects, etc. Scrolling down to the metrics area, we can analyze some statistics like views and downloads, as well as traditional bibliometrics from Scopus and Web of Science. Moreover, we can easily integrate alternative bibliometrics like altmetric, dimensions, and plumex. Let's click now on one of our authors. On authors page, we can see the basic contact information, but also profiles of author integrated from external sources, for example, Scopus, Web of Science, or ORCID. Below, you can see the research outputs, such as publications and projects of this researcher, and filter them in the same way as the search results. Filters can be used in many different ways. For example, you can use them to search for people with whom a specific researcher cooperated on projects or publications. Similar to the publications view, you can see the number of views on the author's profile. If you are interested in some additional details of an author, you can scroll to his biography, information about interests, languages spoken, as well as his employment and education history. Most of the researchers are affiliated with an organization. In DSpace 7 CRIS, you can easily navigate to the information on all of those affiliations. Now, let's quickly move to the organization profile. We see basic information about the unit, its sub-organizations, but also publications, projects, and people affiliated with it. I would like to point out that thanks to DSpace 7 CRIS various integrations, all elements of the repository are interconnected and easy to switch between. For example, you can go to the projects and see all the projects related to the organization. When you click on the name of a project, you are taken to the projects page where you can see some more detailed information. Projects organizations, people, and statistics. Let's move to the project. We see some basic information about project, relations with people involved in a project, and organizations that take part in a project. In the Outputs tab, we can see publications that were created as a result of a project. As I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, in order to access the administrator panel, you need to log in into the repository. Logging in will allow you to perform administrative actions in the back office, such as adding and editing publications, projects, and scientist data. It also gives you access to permissions management and workflows. Due to the limited time, we will now focus on depositing simple item in open access to show you how easy it is to cope with DSpace 7 interfaces for scientists of your organizations, administrators, and library employees. Now, I would like to take you through the whole process of adding a publication. We go to Management sidebar on the left, we click on New, Item, and we choose Test Publication Collection. Thanks to its integration with external database, DSpace 7 CRIS can simplify your work of providing items data. As you can see on the screen now, there are quite a few integrations available already, and the portfolio is still expanding. The integrations allow you to retrieve some information about the publication from a certain source. They also allow for data interoperability. For example, data entered in one place can be used in another through integration interfaces prepared by DSpace. I will now demonstrate the process of aggregating data by providing the DOI number. As you can see, with one click, you have the most of data transferred from external global database. This allows you to save a lot of manual work and avoid errors that can be committed with manual data entry. When it comes to the authors, we can add those that already have profiles in the local database and see the icons showing their affiliation. This also allows us to improve efficiency when filling in a publication form. DSpace 7 CRIS is also integrated with ORCID database, which makes it possible to quickly select authors whose profiles have not yet been created in the repository and connect profiles between these two databases. All the integrated profiles are also marked with ORCID icon, as we can see on the list here. Let's imagine that the publication was created as a part of the project and it has some related datasets. That information could be easily added in DSpace 7 CRIS using the extended field form. As you can see, you can just click Add More and then Publication References, and now you can just choose any relation between two entities in DSpace 7. Below, you can specify under what kind of license a publication should be published. DSpace offers an easy tool for users who are not well versed in the legal aspects of publishing. Clicking on Creative Commons expands the list of the options. Then, the person submitting the publication only has to answer a few simple questions. As you can see, upon answering the questions, the CC license is automatically assigned to the publication, together with the link to terms and conditions that is generated automatically. The repository contains a mechanism that is able to detect duplicates of publications. If DOI number or title of a publication is the same as another one, the system displays information about a potential duplicate. The person submitting the publication should review the information and decide if it is indeed a duplicate and either go back to the form or discard new submission. In our case here, I know that the new publication is not a duplicate. That's why I click It's not a duplicate and go further. To complete my submission, I need to add our publication file. I can drag and drop the file anywhere on the website or click Browse at the top of the page and upload it manually. Then I need to accept the repository license and tick the checkbox to confirm it. Finally, we should decide if we want to save or deposit an item. Clicking the Save button will temporarily store an item in order to put it into the workflow. Hitting the Deposit button will start the publication publishing process and the publication will be sent to the review. Our deposited publication is available on the list of publications on your submission screen. Once you click on it, the publication is shown and you can see all the data that you have imported by adding existing DOI number and later adjusted as I have demonstrated before. That concludes our demo and what we have prepared for you today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for your patience. I hope it was interesting for you. In the matter you would like to get something, get to know something more, and you'd like some personalized presentation, just feel free to contact us. We can organize a demo for you. Coming back to our presentation, I would like now to share with you the stories of three recent DSpace 7 case studies of PCG Academia. We will start with the Jagiellonian University. The university was mentioned before on this webinar. It is top one public university in Poland. We are working with the university for over 4 years with almost 100% SLA. Through all of these 4 years, we haven't had any system breakdown. Actually, there are more than 250,000 publications in the repository, and the system is also involved in a national evaluation process. We have also a lot of integrations done by PCG Academia. DSpace is integrated with, for instance, OJS, OCS, which stands for Open Journal Systems and Open Conference Systems, and some internal elements of IT infrastructure at the university. For instance, the ERP system, it is the SAP system that is installed at the university, and all of these solutions work together, and of course there is a data transfer between all of the systems. At the second slide, you can see our another case study. It is University SWPS. As the Jagiellonian University is the top one of the public universities, the SWPS University is top one of the non-public universities in Poland. The installation is quite complex. We have not only publication, but also artistic achievements and research data that I mentioned before. And the whole system fulfills the open access policy of the university. And of course, as you can see, the look is customized. The pages very similar, or even looks the same as the university web pages. And again, we have a lot of integrations through the REST API of the DSpace. The most significant is the integration with the Salesforce systems that works at the university. And the last one is another top one, but now of the art schools in Poland. It's a very outstanding looking solution, but still it is developed on the DSpace 7 that is highly customized for the academia. We have publications and of course artistic achievements, some graphical collections as well. More than 30,000 of the objects that are stored in the database with some photos and other media that are connected. And of course, there was an image viewer needed for this solution. So we developed our solution that gives you the ability to look, to show the photos and other pictures in DSpace. And on the next slide, you can see our unique implementation model. So how do we work? First of all, the whole installation implementation at the university lasts only 3 months. So we deliver the standard box solution. It's not the standard that you would download from the DSpace repository, but it is customized by us. On the presentation before, you show some kind of customization you can make, but you can choose from these with your own build of DSpace. Of course, it is enhanced by our team. And the third step at the implementation is, of course, to give you some premium look and feel. As you saw before at the case studies, we always try to focus on the university brand book and match it in the repository as well. And then we step to the recurring support. It is in 1 year period. Of course, we offer you a help desk with a dedicated ticketing system. You get the technical support, but last but not least, the most important thing is giving you also the support with updating DSpace to the newest version available. As I mentioned before, the biggest problem with the installation of the DSpace that are all over the world, it is that they are outdated. With our support, you always have the fresh the newest available version when it is released by Lyrasis, the consortium that is responsible for the roadmap of the DSpace, so that you get some new functionalities, plus you have a bug-free version that is always fresh. So thank you very much for attending this presentation. I will give the voice to Leszek now.
Thank you very much, Piotr. I hope your presentation was well received. We have some questions coming, so I will not, without any more ado, I will switch to the questions. So the first question is like this. Is DSpace available in Arabic language? I believe Piotr, with his largest experience in implementation, will be the best person to answer it.
Yes, thank you, Leszek. Thank you for this question. Yes, DSpace is available in Arabic language. It is a basic translation, but this translation always can be enhanced by you if you want. We personally, as PCG Academia, created Polish translation. It is an easy process, so if you need some customization with the translation, we can help also with that, but you get the basic translation in Arabic.
Okay, let me check the other question. Okay, so the next question would be, what is the difference between DSpace and DSpace Chris, or probably DSpace 7 and DSpace 7 Chris? And I believe, again, it would be Piotr to answer it.
Yes, thanks for this question as well. I think that the main difference between standard distribution of the DSpace and the Chris one is that the standard distribution is based on a flat data model. So this, of course, corresponds to the Dublin Core data model. You can, of course, have certain different kind of achievements, like publications, like articles, like books, like research data as well, but it is a flat data structure. When it comes to the CRIS distribution, CRIS stands for Current Research Information System. You can step to the layer, I think one layer above this data. So you can provide some kind of relations between data. For instance, if you have a research project, you can connect this project to this project research output, like publications, like patents, like any other achievements with research data as well. You can connect people to the achievements. You can create the relations between all of the objects, let's say, not the flat data. These are objects that are connected. And then you can use this connection, for instance, to create kind of beautiful scientist profiles or some special pages for the projects that will show you the research data related to these projects.
Thank you very much, Piotr. Another question is, and I believe it will be probably final one to Piotr. What are the advantages of working with a certified provider instead installing DSpace on our own? Is there any certification? Can we add some value as a certified provider? So Piotr, please.
Okay, thank you. Nice question indeed. I think that first, DSpace on your own anytime you want. It is free to download. It is free to install. If only you have enough resources to do it internal, you can always try. But there are some advantages that I mentioned on actually my last slide. which are, of course, our experience in developing DSpace. Through these 4 years, I think that we spent thousands of hours of development, of installation, the system, and and the most important thing, integrations with the other systems, so we can come to you with a ready solution and do it quickly and effectively. Second important thing is the support that we offered. I mentioned it before that the problem with DSpace instances is that they are outdated. They are not being updated to the new releases that are publicated through the official DSpace repository. When we cooperate with certified provider, when you cooperate with PCG Academia, it's our unique offer. You can always have these integrations being done by our team, so you have always up-to-date system. And the second part of the question was about the certification. Yes, the PCG Academia is a certified partner of the Lyrasis. Lyrasis, the American consortium that is responsible for the roadmap of the DSpace, and it's responsible for the whole DSpace community. And the advantages for being a partner, there are only a few partners of Lyrasis. We are actually a gold partner, which is highest possible for the new partners. We can access, for instance, the roadmap. We can, for you as a client, we can inform you that if you need any features, you don't have to pay for development of the features, because we can develop the features for the community and contribute them to the DSpace community. Or maybe we know that any other partner is bringing some kind of features, new features, in, let's say, 3 or 6 months. So you can wait for the features and get them for free. So these are the advantages of working with certified partners.
Okay, I'm afraid, Piotr, that we have one more question for you, and I hope there will be more. So the next technical question is, is it possible to produce reports and statistics from DSpace 7? Is it possible to write queries and get results, or are there any built-in queries in the system?
Okay, yes, the answer is of course yes. DSpace provides some kind of filter mechanism that is technically connected to the Apache Soar, which is indexing engine that can provide you the full text search as well as the files, of course. And you can build any query you want. You have query builder in DSpace that can combine many statements that you can ask the database and even the indexing engine. So yes, it is possible. You can do the reports as well with the newest DSpace 7 branch. You have also a feature of exporting the data. You can export all of your reports to popular standards, for instance, the Excel or CSV files.
Thank you very much, Piotr. We have now a question that I would like to address to Ahmed. The question is, can you provide, well, I think it's to us, right? But it will definitely be on Ahmed's side. Can you provide customer support in Arabic language? So although PCG Academia ourselves, we can't, but with our partner, we most certainly can. So Ahmed, can we provide the support to the customers in Arabic language?
Thank you, Leszek, for this question. Yes, for sure. That's why we are here in Egypt and the Middle East and North Africa to support all the academia institutions with the support in Arabic language.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. And of course, I understand it could be both like phone or kind of audio consultation as well as email or kind of ticketing system queries. Is it right?
Yes.
Very well. Thank you, Ahmed. So there is finally a question which I may answer myself. So what could be possible next steps, right? So I understand there is a question from someone who may be interested in follow up. So you can, well, we will definitely send a summary of the webinar. Also, we will send the link to the recording of the webinar to everyone who participate. Well, actually, to everyone who registered, because as you know, you are just using your nicks. So we will send the those information to everyone who registered for the webinar. And in this information, you will have, again, contact details to Mr. Ahmed Al-Sobki from Acacia Integration, who is kind of ready to receive any call and talk to you in your language whenever you like. You can also contact us, but all our activity in this region are kind of taken care of by Acacia Integration. So actually, it will be like Ahmed who will kind of be in touch with you or one of his team. And the next steps probably could be, because that's how we work in the European market, would be like a dedicated session, online session. After some initial talks with Acacia Integration, we can have a dedicated session with Piotr or someone else from PCG Academia on technical aspects. Then we can kind of discuss and agree about the scope of work that is required. Of course, it can be installation itself, it can be customization, as Piotr showed, many versions of the, for instance, start page. And of course, we can agree on an integration work that you may like, a standard integration with the things like ORCID or Web of Science, or maybe some custom integration, like maybe your payroll system or your HR system. So these things could be agreed upon, discussed during the dedicated online meeting. And once this is done, we can sign agreement. Of course, Acacia Integration is your first time contact, but once the agreement is signed, as Piotr has said, within what you said, 3 months, I think the system should be up and running.
Yes, 3 months.
Very well. So this is like our commitment, and we can make sure that, as I said, 3 months from the signing of the agreement, you can start using DSpace 7, and with our agreement, you may rely on having the newest version of the systems always updated, as Piotr explained it during his presentation. So one more time, you will get the emails from us. In these emails, there will be contact details, and our first contact would be Acacia Integration in person of Ahmed Al-Sobki, and through him, you should kind of get in communication, and you should agree the dedicated technical discussion. It is possible, of course, for us to maybe, go and make a kind of on-site visit, but we believe that we should definitely start with the online meeting. If necessary, we can move to personal visit as well. So that would be. Yes, Ahmed, please, you want to add something?
Yeah, thank you, Leszek, for answering this question. But I want also to add that starting from next week, after getting the full list of the registration from the area and the participants, also, I will start myself contacting the participants as much as I can personally on the phone, and then after this, if it is not possible by phone, I will send also a follow-up email, so that if they need a sort of visits within Egypt, of course, I will start visiting them as much as I can. If they are outside Egypt, I'll start preparing for an online meeting with you and the people in PC Academia and PCG Academia, and we will start working very hard from next week, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. So yes, you will get emails and phone calls from Ahmed, and we hope we would be able to see at least some of you during a dedicated online and maybe in-person meetings soon. Well, we kind of said that it will be like 1 hour webinar. We are now almost closing this 1 hour, so I believe it would be a very good moment to thank our kind of presenters. So thank you very much, Ahmed, for joining us from Cairo, and thank you, Piotr, from joining us from, is it Warsaw or Torun today?
Warsaw. Thank you.
Warsaw,
Thank
yep.
you.
And thank you also from myself. Thanks also to our technical support who are working hard in the background, making sure that it all goes well. And thanks first of all to all of you, our dear guests, and you may rely on receiving some emails from you. We are looking forward to staying in more personalized communication with you. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon and all the best to all you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, PCG Academia team, and thank you for the participants. And hoping to see you online or face to face very soon. Thank you.